Okay, Eric, it was great having you in for a half-day academy. Let's take a look at what we worked on. First thing I recommended was getting the weight a little bit more on the balls of the feet. They look a little toe heavy. I like the way that your spine angle is nice and straight, and your arms are hanging down comfortably. But I think a little bit more balance on the balls of the feet is going to make it a little more consistent for you. Okay, now as we watch the club going away, what I want you to notice is how the hands and the handle kind of move outside or to the right of that red line. And that, we talked about the importance of concentric circles, and when you start to extend out and away like this, the tendency is that you're just separating from your body pivot, and that's going to cause the club to wander a little bit in, and then you lift up to the top of your swing. At this particular point, you really haven't made your fullest coil of your body pivot, and I know we talked about you feel like because of the issues in your shoulders that certainly it's limiting you to get range of motion, and we're going to address that. As you start your downswing, you'll notice how that right elbow is staying very high at this particular point and not dropping and searching for your right hip. And when it searches for the right hip, basically that's showing us that we've got a good angle of approach coming down and into the shot, and the club is going to be shallowing. At this particular point, you'll see how the club springs to the outside quite quickly, and it's causing, there it is right there, it's causing you to have an angle of approach that's coming from outside to in. And when you do that, it's a loss of power and also the inconsistency of where you're going to bottom out. And you'll see, you're strong and you try to hold off that club head passing your hands at that particular point, and that's why you've got that excessive elbow pointing outward look with your left arm. Now, when you talk about shoulders being feeling like they're being hurt, well, this is a prime indication of why when you see that look right there, elbow up in the air instead of a club in front of you and the elbows pointing always to the ground. So that was the first thing we talked about, is both your left and right elbow constantly are going to feel like they point to the ground. So over here on the left hand side is us working on that sensation. Okay, I wanted you to feel like you extended your right arm a little bit more away and push down on the left thumb so you get the club setting up a little bit more. And I'm going to help you feel that sensation right here. I had you soften up your elbows, both of them point to the ground, and then feel like you extended that right arm away. And you'll notice where the hands are now. They're more in front of your chest going back. Elbows are certainly pointing downward, which is ideal. And then the club, the shaft itself is actually setting more vertical, so it's up in this zone instead of wandering behind you so much. From this point, I just said turn your right shoulder back towards your spine. That's all you want to feel. And then feel the downswing of a plant to the left heel and your right elbow searching for its hip, right hip. And so I'm over-exaggerating the feeling a little bit with you right there, and but I did show you a picture of Hogan. Actually, it wasn't a picture, it was a video clip of Hogan working in super slow motion. When he's actually doing this, he's overemphasizing the feeling that the club is shallowing. In fact, it looked more like that instead of being where you have it right now. So when you work in the mirror, and I'd recommend a lot of mirror work with these feelings, these are the sensations I want you to get. Now, you'll notice that when I move away here, how much better able to get that shaft falling and shallowing out on your right forearm instead of being high and on the outside like what you saw it over here. So now you got the handle leading the club head, you got the left heel planting, you got your hips turning out of the way, and the other thing I want you to notice is how nicely that shaft is with your parallel position to your toe line at this point. So when you're looking in the mirror, these are the references that you want to get, and you want to get the sensation from here. You just continue to rotate everything through. Okay, so that was one of the drills, one of the feelings. The second one I gave you was with the happy ball and a nice PVC pipe about 5 inches or 5 feet long. So I wanted you to feel like you could turn your right shoulder back towards your spine. And what I want you to notice when we do this exercise, the happy balls is to kind of support the lower body so it stays nice and steady. And then if I just draw a line on your shoulders, I want you to notice how when your right shoulder turns back towards spine, you're able to rotate around your spine angle more efficiently. You were doing it with your left side. When the left side does that, you tend to move your left shoulder too level going back, and then it pushes your entire spine to the right too much, so you move off the ball a bit too much. So this is a nice tidy little feeling. And then I had you feel like you planted your left heel right here, which drops that ball and starts to unwind and see how you kind of sit down into the shot right here. So now your shoulders and your hips are more level to the ground, where your right side was definitely turned more up going back. So it's plant and then continue to unwind. Now you're doing most of this with your shoulders, and I would like to see you do it more from the hip region. If you do it with the hip region, we're going to lose some of the inflection that we're seeing in your knees. You're going to start to post up your left side, and that's going to move your left side higher going through the shot. So right now when you did that practice, you stayed too much in inflection instead of clearing your left hip and feeling the post up a little bit more, which will rise your right heel a little bit more off the ground. So other than that, everything looks really tidy. Do lots of mirror work, focus on these key fundamentals, and I look forward to hearing about your progress. Until next time, happy golfing.